Okay, I'm gonna try and make this as quick as possible because I need to go to sleep. But um, I saw a live by Chrissie and I wanted to just do a video on it. This one was a day ago, and she was basically talking about divestors. Some things that stuck out. One specifically that she was trying to basically associate divestors with being dark skinned. When many of the people she was talking about, she'd never even seen before. And she kept trying to talk about divested zealot. No one's even seen divested zealot. And divested zealot has never even said that she was dark skinned. I believe she's actually says that she was brown skinned. So I don't understand why she made the assumption that divestors were dark skinned. There's a reason for it, yes, of course. Well, we all know that, divested sectors were originally thought to be mainly dark skinned black women, and this was a theme that dark skinned black men from the manosphere would tell themselves because they basically were saying that dark skinned black women were undesired by them, so they could assuage themselves in telling themselves that it was dark skinned black women who were divesting and swirling, and that they didn't care because they were dark skinned. And you know how they hate themselves, so they don't care if their own image doesn't prefer them because they don't prefer themselves. So to me, it's like, now why would you want to perpetuate a stereotype of dark-skinned black women that is negative? Why would you want to associate divestment with dark-skinned black women, of which you assumed were dark-skinned and you never even saw them? You don't even know if they are even black by looking at them because you can't see them. And I'm not saying that the divestors are white people or anything like that. I'm just saying that you don't know. You've not seen anyone. So another thing that was more important to note than just the idea of trying to basically paint divestors as dark-skinned black women who were unwanted, there was another part of how she made very negative connotations against dark-skinned black women. For one, she specifically was saying how dark-skinned black women were basically, she made assumptions on divestors, basically saying that they were on Section 8, that they were poor, that they were hood and ghetto, and even alluded to the idea that they had STDs. And she said that these dark-skinned black women made dark-skinned black women look badly. So you assumed and associated all those characteristics with dark-skinned black women. You assumed that was a stereotype of black women who are dark-skinned. And you wonder why she made a channel for colorism and complaining about dark skin, about having dark skin, and bonding on that with other dark-skinned women who would rather not be dark-skinned. And it's weird to me because it's like, okay, so you basically came up with the idea that all these people were dark-skinned and they had all these terrible lives based on basically nothing, just because you didn't like them and you thought that they were acting ghetto in your perspective or whatever. And it's like, okay, if you think that, why did you associate negative behavior with dark skin? And it all goes back to why she made her colorism channel in the first place. Because, you see, with people who cry about colorism, they're crying about dark skin. They're crying about having dark skin. because they associate negativity with dark skin, just like she was doing with those divestors. That's why she assumed they were dark skinned, because she was upset at them, and she associates bad things with dark skin. Well, it's a terrible thing to be associating bad things with a trait that you personally have yourself. And that's why they cry about colorism. Because they're not crying about colorism, they're crying about having dark skin, you see. They're crying about the fact that they see dark skin as a negative trait. And they think that when people see their dark skin, they associate it with a negative trait too. And so then they pay attention most closely to those who assert anything about dark skin, because that's how they feel naturally themselves. So it's not even about really what others think. They will find it. They will find negativity against their dark skin because, like I said, with her, it was right beneath the surface, and it just surfaced all the way up, and we could see how she had such negative connotations against divestors and tried to associate them with being dark-skinned black women, and saying that because they were dark-skinned black women, they were basically ratchet, they were ghetto, they were, baby mamas, they were unwanted, undesired by black men, and so forth. And because of that, they had to go to white men and things of that nature. She made that whole narrative all based off of them being dark-skinned black women. That is pretty messed up. And you wonder why she cries about colorism. I mean, come on now. Added to it, the thing that was most concerning to me was her behavior and what she explained as to why she has an issue with the preference, whether the preference likes black men or not. I always wondered this, because I always wondered, okay, so you have an issue with light-skinned black women and light brown-skinned black women and biracials and, Hispanics, Asians, and white people, because if they prefer black men, dark-skinned black men, so they divert attention away from you and they want to be chosen over you, basically. You have issues with those people. Even though it's kind of like, why do you have issues with those people when, it's not really their fault that they're the color they are? It's more so the fault of the self-hating, dark-skinned black man who doesn't love himself and loves someone else's image and does not value himself and wishes his children look like anything but himself. That's who you should be taking it up with, but you're not going to, because you love him way too much. And that's the mammy behavior there. They have a transference reaction to women who are light skinned and light brown skinned and mixed race and so forth. And she further explained why it doesn't matter what the preference wants. It just matters that they are the preference. Because she said that light-skinned black women still want it, even if they say they don't want it. Which basically really means she wants it and it triggers her, basically. Because I've seen this before. It doesn't matter if a light-skinned person is sexually harassed, attacked, or raped. That other person, people like her, who feel that light-skinned black person was chosen before them and was wanted more than them, it doesn't matter what pain, what sorrow, what issue happened, because a violent, dangerous black man who hates himself and is criminalized is harassing you. It doesn't matter what kind of danger it brings. It doesn't matter that your life might be taken because you were the preference. It doesn't matter that you never wanted this. You never asked for this. And you wish you weren't anywhere near the preference. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, all she's really saying is that she wishes she was in that position. She wishes she was that light-skinned woman. And it doesn't matter that the light-skinned woman was not receptive of that behavior and did not want that behavior. You know, all that matters is that she was picked and she wants to be picked by that black man, that dark-skinned black man. And to me, it's just like, okay, so if you see it that way, then it's obviously not anyone else's fault for existing, basically, because there's nothing anyone can do, basically, because it's not about whether the light brown skinned, mixed race, black woman, or whatever, you know, wants it or not. If they don't invite that into their lives, it doesn't matter. Basically, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you've made 3 police reports every year. You have to walk outside of the pandemic, because dark-skinned black men will get mad. They have a hard time accepting rejection, and when you don't act receptive to them, they get angry, they get violent, they get aggressive, and your life is at risk. Honestly, I know. I've been that person who's made 3 police reports in a year because of situations like this. And to me, it's just like, I don't really get why mammies are so stuck and so desperate for black men's attention that they don't care if it's wanted or if it's unwanted. They're just mad that the attention was given to somebody else. And because they love black men so much, they can't even direct the attention where it belongs. They have to direct it against someone who has no control over what a black man who hates himself prefers. And it's so sad, because it's like, okay, so if you want so badly to have attention from someone who hates themselves, why is that? It's not just that, you just love dark-skinned black men. What the thing is that you don't see them as actually wrong. You don't see their perspective as wrong. All you see is basically that they may be in the right, you may be in the wrong. You may see it as if you should be that lighter-skinned woman, and you're just angry that you're not her. Because why else would you not blame him for his own self-hate, for his own image? To me, I think in part, these people who talk about colorism and talk about light skin and biracial and light brown skin black people being preferred over them, they're complaining about it not because it's a bad thing. They just think it's a thing that they don't have, and they wish they were in that position. Because if they were in that position, of which they call a privilege, they would take that privilege because they see it as a good thing. And if they would take that privilege, that tells you that they don't even care about dark skin being valued. They don't give a darn about dark skin. They just care that they are dark skinned. And you can tell throughout this whole thing that she doesn't value dark skin, because she literally tried to associate dark skin with divestors and being basically hood, being a baby mama, being poor, being, uneducated and low class and so forth, And on top of it, she tried to even claim that divestors were in support of skin bleaching and trying to be white or whatever, or lighter or whatever. And it's like, you are the one preaching over here so much negativity against people who you've never met, you've never seen, and you assume are dark skinned because you want to paint a negative picture of them. And it's like, why would you associate dark skin with someone you want to associate a negative picture with? Like, I never want to assume someone's dark skinned just because I'm having some kind of issue with them. I don't know what color they are. I mean, actually, if they're light skinned, you know how I am, because, I value dark skin more than I value light skin. So, actually, honestly, um, it's actually easier to argue with someone who's light skinned than dark skinned. But anyway, my perspective is just, why would you want to associate negativity with dark skin? You tried to paint a bad image of dark skinned black women. And it's like, if you actually love the image of dark skinned black women, you wouldn't just assume they were dark skinned because you're making dark skinned black women look badly by your narrative. You didn't put this narrative on light skinned women. You didn't put this narrative on brown skinned women. You didn't even put this narrative on collective black women as a whole. And the reason why is because you have a negative idea of dark skin automatically. You know, that's what she has. And it's terrible. It's disgusting. I mean, like, you're saying that other people are wanting to skin bleach. I mean, you're the one talking against dark skinned women and dark skinned people and assuming people are dark skinned and trying to act like it's a negative trait almost, you know, because of all the other things you're associating with it. And it's like, if anyone, it seems like you kind of want to do that. But, often on these platforms with colorism platforms, they do have a sense of, skin bleaching and desires to do that, or they've had a past in doing it, they've thought about doing it. That's why they're always accusing everybody else of doing it, because they're the ones guilty of doing it, wanting to do it, or, having done it in the past. Also, one other thing I wanted to talk about was, oh yeah, white men being colorists. She was trying to say that white men were colorists if they preferred lighter complexions or something of that nature, which is just weird because from my perspective, it's like, what do you mean they would be colorists if they prefer light-skinned women, or brown-skinned women, or dark-skinned women, or light brown-skinned women, or white women? They are lighter than all black women, pretty much. So, I mean, if they like their own image for that matter, if they like white women, that wouldn't be colorist or racist. It wouldn't be colorist or racist to for them to prefer someone who is light skinned, for that matter, someone who's closer to their complexion. Is it really colorist for black people to prefer light skinned black people over white people when they're dark skinned? No, it's not colorist. Is it colorist for a dark skinned person to prefer dark skin? No, it's not colorist. So, if someone prefers their own image or something closer to their own image, there is no way in hell that is colorist. It's so annoying that these platforms have weird ideas that everybody has to prefer them, or else there's some kind of hate. It's not like that. And you can definitely say for sure it's not colorist for a white person to have any preference of any color of black woman or white woman for that matter. You know, it's not hateful, obviously. It's not self hating because, they're not black at all. So, I mean, you should be fixing or trying to figure out how you're gonna fix your self hating dark skinned black man who is preferring everything but you, you know, and actually try and fix him because he obviously doesn't like what he sees in the mirror, you know, and that's more of the focus. I think they'll never fix their problem because they revere the very person implementing the problem onto themselves and to the people that they revere, you know. And, like I said, they have to change their mindset. You have to change your mindset and not thinking that, there's something wrong with dark skin. So when you're in a fight with someone, you're just going to accuse them of being dark skinned as if it's some kind of um, bad quality to have. Dark skin is beautiful. Dark skin is ideal. And honestly, I've always said this. I think dark skinned black women are the most beautiful women of all races. Honestly, you know, that's just how I see it. They're the epitome of femininity. So there's no way that you should be trying to associate dark skinned black women with being undesirable or baby mamas or having STDs or, you know, being someone who is ghetto or poor or living on Section 8. That's basically the manosphere tactics and behavior. They will say that about dark skinned black women. You claim you're not part of the black manosphere, but you're using their exact tactics. Attacking dark skinned black women, calling divestors self-hating and skin bleachers. When, like I said, the colorism topic, you guys are the main ones who struggle with that problem, honestly. So that's all I have to say in this video. Um, all the tactics that she was using were just straight out of the Black Manosphere book. Even the part with saying white men might be colorist or alluding to it or implying they're racist or whatever. Just so strongly Black Manosphere. If you're trying to claim you're for black women, at least hide a little bit. At least hide that just a little bit. But yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. I'm gonna be done now. I'm tired. It's 2:15 right now. Yeah, I really need to go to sleep. So thanks for watching. I'm surprised I'm as awake as I am. Have a great day and bye.